Hey there, I'm Tony DeCopel. This is The Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them these, an unlikely friendship between an avid reader and the man she invited into her book club without knowing he's regarded as Georgia royalty. Also, a high school football player who stuck with the sport despite going blind at 7 years old. And a woman helping people who lost everything in Hurricane Helene regaining a little bit of hope. Plus, David Begnaud meets up with a woman known as an angel in her town for helping others in need. She was recently rewarded for her selfless acts of kindness. All of that and so much more good news coming up in a moment. You know what you're watching, The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we're going to begin with a lesson in self-confidence. When Kathy Rackley met a man in a bookstore and started chatting with him about her book club, he decided to join. What she had no clue at the time was who the man was. Some say he's Georgia's royalty. Here's Steve Hartman.
Hello, I'm here with Meryl.
And I'm here with our lesson on self-confidence.
And for a definition, we go over to Emmett at the dictionary desk.
I'm defining self-confidence as believing in yourself and your abilities.
Emmett, you are a 3-time National Junior Shuffleboard champion. This is something very few people know about you. You're very self-confident when you're on a shuffleboard court. But what if I put you on the ballet stage?
I'm out.
Yeah.
So you can play, but you can't plie.
I guess you could say that.
Point is, self-confidence is easy when you're good at something. The challenge is when you're not, when you're outside your comfort zone. But it is possible. As you'll see in this story, pulled from our library, filed under self-confidence.
In Athens, Georgia, in the bestseller section of this Barnes & Noble, Kathy Rackley found a novel story of her own.
Did you have any idea at all who he was?
None.
And you didn't tell her?
I didn't, but I knew they were gonna find out, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Fact is, Kathy may have been the only one in Athens who didn't know the name Malcolm Mitchell. Number 26 for the University of Georgia Bulldogs was one of the top recruits in the country a few years ago. He's Georgia royalty, and presumably, if Kathy had known that, she wouldn't have stood in that Barnes & Noble talking his ear off about the book club she'd just joined.
I mean, he stepped back and he said, "You did?" And he said, "Can I join your book club?" And I said, I don't know if you want to join mine. We're all 40, 50, and 60-year-old women.
But Malcolm was undeterred, which is how one of the top players in the country began meeting monthly with his book club lady friends.
Oh yeah. And then he went to the wedding.
I love that part.
He's the only man and the youngest by a generation. But Malcolm doesn't care, nor does he care what anyone thinks.
Somebody called me a nerd. It's not a word that I'm used to hearing.
Is it okay though? Are you okay with the label?
It's like a badge of honor to me, knowing where I came from.
Malcolm confessed to me that when he started college, he could only read at about a junior high level, and it bothered him. So he started putting as much effort into his reading game as his football game.
Every free moment, he had a book in his hand. He's now reading things he never dreamed he could. And although some of the book club selections he would never pick himself, Malcolm seems to enjoy them all.
Yeah, the ending was great.
Looking at your life now, all you've accomplished, what are you most proud of?
I finished the Hunger Games series in about 2 days.
Have you seen any of the footage of you scoring touchdowns? That's not your most proud moment?
That came natural. That's a gift. I had to work to read.
But his greatest talent is his self-confidence, to step outside his comfort zone, to be able to meet people and focus so sincerely on what they have in common instead of their trivial differences.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sometimes football makes great men, and sometimes great men just happen to play football.
Malcolm Mitchell joins us now. Hello, Malcolm.
Hi, how are you all?
We're great.
How did you find the self-confidence to read after struggling for so long?
I think my dreams outweighed my fear. So joining the book club, for me, it was as simple as this seems like the necessary next step to get where I want to be.
You made it into the NFL and you were in some kind of big contest. What's the name of that?
Something about a bowl and
Yeah, Super Bowl, I think it was.
Super Bowl, that's right.
Yeah. And then after that, you did something even more impressive.
In 2016, I created Share the Magic Foundation. When I learned how much reading impacts an individual's life in every aspect, it became my deepest desire to inspire people to read. And one of my ways of doing that is writing picture books.
How many books have you written?
I have 2 books published by Scholastic. One is titled The Magician's Hat, and the other is titled My Very Favorite Book in the Whole Wide World.
So the guy who could barely read is now an author?
Emmett, I would have to say that in itself explains the power of books.
Thank you, Malcolm. Hope to see you soon.
Keep spreading that kindness.
Self-confidence means believing in yourself. But more importantly, it means believing that you can be good at something, even if you're not right now. We'll see you next time.
Until then, stay kind.
Coming up, meet the teen who plays on the high school football team despite going blind at 7 years old. Time now to tell you about a high school football player goes by the name of Jason Bracey. He's got his dad in his ear during every single game. Why? Because Jason is blind and his dad is his guide. Here's Nina Burns.
From youth football to high school varsity, Jason Bracey hasn't stopped chasing his dreams. He's in his last year here at Enoch's High School, where he's preparing to play his final football game.
It's still the game that you played back in youth.
It was an adjustment from youth football to high school football for Jason Bracey. At the age of 1, Bracey was diagnosed with retinal cancer. By the time he was 7, he completely lost his vision. At 15, he joined a youth football league, where his father used a walkie-talkie inside of his helmet to communicate with Bracey during games.
I know as soon as they push me that I have to keep going.
A tool they fought to use in high school football.
I had to really explain to them, hey, all I'm doing is trying to tell him so that he can paint a mental picture of what every other kid is seeing out there on the field.
Bracey plays as varsity quarterback and noseback, something he and his father say took determination.
I give him a hard time every week. Hey, Jay, you're killing me. I go to work and I got to go to your practices. I don't have no time for myself, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
For Bracey, it's about staying just as mentally fit as physically.
I believe that life and part of football is 90% mental, because as soon as you let the outside rumors roam in, wherever, then that's how you know that you lost the mental game already.
And having the right people to cheer you on.
We gave it all, our 100% through the whole three years, right? Yeah, 3 years.
Coming up, see the photos from Hurricane Helene you probably have never seen before. They do not show destruction, they show hope, they show families and memories. After Hurricane Helene, many families' homes were destroyed. Well, one woman in Ashville, in that area anyway, is working to help them piece their lives back together by reconnecting them with old memories. Here's Caitlin O'Kane.
We've seen the images of destruction, debris, and flooding left behind by Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina. But other images also came out of Helene. Family photos, snapshots of happy memories and important milestones left behind. After the deadly hurricane, Taylor Shanker, who lives in nearby Canton, found herself with tons of family photos that didn't belong to her. It started when Taylor took a walk with a friend whose entire home was destroyed in the hurricane.
We spent about 4 hours digging through the mud looking for any of her belongings that we could find. And during that process, I found like 4 or 5 different individual photographs, and we laid out the photos along with some clothes, and we found an American flag and all those things on the bank, hoping that they would be reunited with people. And then went home, and it honestly kept me up at night, just thinking like, oh, here are these little photographs that miraculously made it through all of this and now are sitting here. And what if it rains, or what if the wind blows and they aren't able to be reunited with their family? Like, that would be such a shame.
So Taylor went back the next day to get the photos. She ended up finding more, realizing how many important family memories she now had in her possession.
It was like a middle school basketball team. It was a photo of a beloved dog. I found a wedding photo of a bride hugging somebody. You take photos because you have a moment that you want to remember, and so they did all seem just special, and thinking about the families who had lost them and what it would mean to be reunited. Like, especially I found some like kids' school photos, and you can't really recreate those early childhood memories, especially. And so I knew it would definitely mean something if we were able to get it back to their families.
So she started the Photos from Helene Instagram, a virtual lost and found, hoping people would recognize the photos and word of mouth would help reunite them with their rightful owners. She says she collected more than 100 photos, and at the time of our interview, she had reunited about 15% of them. Each reunion, a heartwarming reminder that what she's doing is important.
Being able to have that moment where you hand something so special to somebody and then also just give them a hug, because they've been through so much. They've lost likely their entire home in this situation. And it's such a privilege to have an insight into this moment in their lives through these photographs and to be able to give them back to them.
For some, the photos are the only time they get to see loved ones again.
I reunited photos with a family earlier this week who have 2 sons, and their college-age son was able to find us through Instagram and make the connection and text his parents that he found these photos. And when I met with the mom to reunite the photos, she shared that one of her sons had actually passed. And so when they lost their home, they lost all memory of this child, which is absolutely devastating, in addition to the devastation that has already happened. And so that was really special to be able to give them a hug and reunite them with these memories.
After losing everything, the one thing these families don't have to worry about is losing important family memories, all thanks to Taylor.
I think the process is definitely fulfilling. It is fun to see every moment that a photograph is reunited, and to see people in the comments tagging each other and saying, "Hey, is this you?" or "That's my photo. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me of this moment in my life that I had totally forgotten about." There's so much devastation in this area, and you can't even go to the grocery store without being reminded of it and seeing piles of debris. And so I think that definitely has made me and others want to celebrate these wins even bigger, because you have to in order to get through the day-to-day now.
She said most of the photos we've seen come out of Asheville are of the devastation left behind after the hurricane. But her photos from Helene are happy memories. Her project is the calm after the storm.
Up next, David Begnaud revisits a woman who is regarded as an angel in her community. She gives rides to folks in need, and for her selfless act of kindness, she got a gift she needed.
Lynn's like a little angel. She really is.
One time, her car broke down, and she goes and flags down somebody in the middle of traffic to get me into my chemo.
David Begnaud recently profiled a woman regarded as an angel in her town because of the way she helps others. Well, she is now getting the help she needs thanks to a gift from a surprise donor.
Hi, David.
She is. Good to see you.
You too.
You might remember Lynn's story. We introduced her to our viewers 6 months ago. This Fort Worth retiree started giving free rides to people who she met on the neighborhood app Nextdoor.
Okay, I'm ready.
First was April Goodwin. April needed help getting to her medical appointments after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Shortly after she started helping April, she started driving Kevin Horrigan, who is blind. Kevin needed a ride to work 3 days a week.
Lynn's like a little angel. She really is.
Viewers were amazed that Lynn was willing to help out complete strangers, driving them around even though money was tight for her, gas prices were high, and her car is not in the best shape.
One time, her car broke down and she goes and flags down somebody in the middle of traffic to get me to my chemo.
And that was the third time in 3 months that Lynn's car had broken down. So it got us thinking, what could we do to help get Lynn's car fixed up? One of our viewers was so inspired by Lynn that they took action in a way you are not going to believe. More on that in a moment. Moritz dealership in Fort Worth agreed to help us pull off a big surprise for Lynn.
Quick change of plans.
Okay.
We're actually going to take you to a dealership in Fort Worth that we found, which is going to take a look at your car and fix anything that needs to be done.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's so nice.
Tires, oil, anything that needs to be done, whatever it is, they're going to take care of it.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh.
So 22-year-old car and almost 100,000 miles. Just drive up ahead, and then the service is right there. There's some guy named David who they told us to find.
Your Lynn's story?
Yes, I am.
We're going to take care of you good. When you're done, this is going to be like new.
Okay, we're not really fixing the car, and he doesn't really work here. But remember that face. From there, we picked up Kevin in April for what they thought was just a lunch to catch up.
So it's been 6 months since we've seen you, and you're still driving them.
Of course.
Where do you drive them to now?
I drive April to doctor's appointments, and I take Kevin to work because he's still working 3 days a week.
Lynn's help is more important than ever. 6 months ago, Kevin was diagnosed with breast cancer and is starting radiation treatments. April, who had ovarian cancer, is now in remission.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Well, now we're headed back to the dealership because remember that guy? Okay, here's who he really is. David Kelleher. David owns David Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in suburban Philadelphia. He is a household name there and has been for more than 20 years.
You girls are beautiful.
But he's not just a car dealer. David's a humanitarian who gets a lot of joy out of giving back.
And they're all going to have the best Christmas ever.
Okay. Okay.
Get ready for this.
What is this?
Checked out pretty good and cleaned it up, and it's like new.
Oh my God, y'all.
Lynn, I don't actually work here. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a
Okay.
car dealer in Philadelphia. And I saw your story. This is your car.
So wait, it only gets better. So not only is he giving you a brand new car, but he's also
Paying the tax and tags for you, giving you an
'Cause I
extended
can't.
warranty.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna put an oil change package on it. I'm gonna pay your insurance every year for you, help you out with the difference, so that you can have full coverage on this car.
This woman, who is never without a word to say, was speechless.
go look at your new car.
Lynn was amazed.
You're gonna have to figure out what the name of the car is.
The White Knight.
The
White Knight. You already got it.
Yeah.
White Knight.
Done.
I love that.
There it is.
It's a perfect name. To know that I could help somebody in such a way that's been helping other people, you know, I get so much out of it, David. Now she's going to be safe. It's going to be dependable. She's going to be able to help other people. I told her she's got to expand her portfolio of people that she helps.
Well, no, you don't know this, but at lunch she was telling us she brought 2 girls to school who didn't have a ride because their parents weren't available, and she delivered something to someone who needed. Also, people she met on Nextdoor.
Yeah, I mean, Lynn is such a dear heart. She's looking for people to help.
Yes.
And that's who I want to help.
Thank you.
Love you, brother.
I'm just in shock and I don't know what to do, frankly. I'm just blown away by this extreme generosity.
What are you going to do with your new car?
Well, I'm going to take April and Kevin to their doctor's appointments and / work and continue to look for people on Nextdoor that need a ride.
That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, go ahead and press play again. Those reruns, they're still free. I'm going to go find some good news.